started a new fitness plan only to fall off after a couple of days or maybe even a couple of weeks, you're not alone. I struggled with that too for way too long until I learned a couple of simple switches backed by science that made consistency almost automatic. Stick around to the end because I'm sharing one powerful habit that changed the game for me. This is something I never hear talked about, but it's one of my secret weapons for success. I'm Jenny Tonin, and I'm a holistic nutritionist, and I work with women who are like me, women in midlife who are looking for actionable, effective, and sustainable ways to drop excess body fat, support their hormones, increase their energy, and feel better on the inside while looking better on the outside. Be sure to subscribe to this channel for realistic, doable, actionable steps to build lasting health as a woman in midlife. For a long time on my weight loss journey, I tried desperately to not work out. I thought maybe if I eat well enough or manage my stress well enough or get enough sleep, then maybe I could get away without working out. Because the truth was, I didn't like working out. It felt awkward and uncomfortable. I was sweaty and sore afterward. And the biggest struggle for me was that I just simply didn't know how to fit it in, to find the time. My to-do list was never ending. I didn't have time in my life to do the things I wanted to do. I didn't know how I was going to fit this in on top of everything else that was on my plate. And it was frustrating, and I was really inconsistent. I was randomly trying to fit in workouts whenever I could, on weekends, on days off. I depended on motivation or when I felt like it, which, I'll be honest, wasn't that often. I was always feeling like I was behind or feeling guilty or inconsistent about my workouts. And it was a sore spot for me. And I didn't know how to make it work in my life. I mean, I wanted to find the time, I just didn't know how to. And this is something that drives me crazy on social media when you see all of these fitness influencers that talk about their different workouts, but they don't tell you how to make it work in your life. Aside from, getting up at 3:30 in the morning and working out when it's still pitch black out for a couple of hours, when are you supposed to make this happen in life if you're working and you have a family and you have a home and you have all kinds of other responsibilities to take care of? Until one day I had a realization. I had that moment, and I realized that the habits that last are the habits that you automate, like brushing your teeth or doing the laundry or walking the dog. I needed to learn how to treat my health and fitness habits like my other adult life responsibilities. I couldn't treat working out as an optional extra anymore. So let me share with you what I do today to make time for workouts in my life. Get a pen. You're going to want to write some of this down. So the first thing is to have a plan. And I'm talking about a specific workout plan, not I'm going to exercise more. Every day that I'm going to work out, I have a pre-scheduled plan where I've outlined what, when, and how. This removes something called decision fatigue. We all make thousands of decisions throughout our day: what to eat, what to wear, how to get to work, what to have in your coffee. It goes on and on and on from there. So to add something else into my day where I had to make decisions: when am I going to work out? What kind of workout am I going to do? How am I going to do it? Where am I going to do it? It just creates exhaustion because we all have a threshold as to how many decisions we can make in a day. And so removing that choice by having a pre-scheduled specific plan as to what my workouts are going to involve takes that decision fatigue out of the equation. And then I've anchored my workouts into my routine. So for me, what that looks like is every day that I go to work, as soon as I'm done working for the day, I work out. Before I have dinner, before I settle in for the evening, or do whatever else I have to do with the later portion of my day, I do my workout. Same time every weekday for me. Now, for you, that could look different. I'm not saying you have to work out at the end of your workday because we all have different lives and schedules and routines. For you, it might be in the morning before work, or on your lunch hour, or later in the evening, or at some other time that works for you. The point is I've anchored it into my routine and I've tethered it to something I'm already doing. And by anchoring it into my routine, I've removed the choice. So just like brushing my teeth is part of how I get ready in the morning, this is just part of how I go about my weekday routine. And speaking of weekdays, they're my favorite days to work out because my weekdays are full of structure. My kids go to school, my husband goes to work, I go to work. We have classes and lessons and other things that give us a lot of structure on our weekdays. Our weekends are a lot more open and flexible. And something that I realized on this path is that the more open and flexible my day is, the less likely I'm able to schedule in a workout. I can't explain it other than that, but the structure of my workday makes it easier to stick to these habits. So I have 6 scheduled workouts in my week, and 5 of those workouts are on weekdays, Monday through Friday, when my routines are predictable. And I removed the should I type of thinking. So I don't negotiate with myself. Just like Nike says, I simply just do it, like any other adult responsibility. Some days I feel like it, lots of days I don't. I've removed the negotiation and I just do it regardless of how I feel. And this approach has worked so well for me to help me be consistent. And I'm going to show you how in a moment, how to make that work in your life, and also the one really big shift that I made. But first, I want to explain to you a bit of the psychology and science behind why this works. So if you've ever heard of the book Atomic Habits by James Clear, it's a fantastic book, and I highly recommend it to any of you out there to read. It's well worth your while, especially if you're looking to figure out how to make good habits a more consistent part of your life. But in that book, he touches on a concept called habit stacking. And I love habit stacking. Habit stacking has been a giant game changer for me in all kinds of areas in my life, but especially when it comes to working out. To explain it briefly, habit stacking is simply taking an existing routine or habit and just attaching the new thing that you want to become a habit to that existing routine. For example, in order to consistently remember to take my supplements at night, after dinner, I go and I put my dishes in the dishwasher, and then I go right to my cupboard in the kitchen where I keep my supplements and I take them. So I've taken the habit that I already had about putting my plates in the dishwasher, and I've attached to that the habit of taking supplements. So when it comes to working out, I already have the habit of going to work every day. So I simply have attached the habit of working out onto the end of my workday. And as a side note, working out at the end of your workday, well, it's allowed me to transition beautifully from work mode to home mode. And it allows me to get rid of the stress and all of the things that work involves in my day, get that out of my system. And that allows me to be more present and focused and positive with my interactions with my friends and family and whoever else I'm interacting with in the evening. In addition, there's implementation intention. Having a specific plan when it comes to your workout gives you dramatically higher success rate. Getting really specific about what that plan involves. For example, figuring out I'm going to go do a 30-minute lower body strength training routine at 5:30 p.m. before I have dinner. And I also realized that I had to learn how to shift my identity. I had an identity, first of all, as somebody that didn't want to exercise, that avoided exercise, that disliked exercise. And I knew that real athletic people, people that go to the gym frequently and work out, they don't have that identity. I had to begin to learn how to identify as somebody that exercised regularly, because you act in alignment with the identity you believe you have. You need to learn how to become the person that does the thing, not the person that negotiates their way out of doing the thing. And this is the exact kind of strategy that I teach clients in my one-to-one program, the Midlife Metabolism Fix. We don't just talk about what to do. We focus on building habits that fit into your real life so that this all becomes sustainable for the long term. Because none of this is about willpower, contrary to what you may think or what you may have been told. It's about designing your environment, your schedule, and your mindset to make success inevitable.